Hi everyone, welcome back to the DMP 205 tutorial series. In this series of videos, I'm going to be editing with you the farm to table project that we have. And I'm going to be sending you various videos corresponding to the stages of this project. Now, in order for us to open up Final Cut Pro, we can easily open it up through our toolbar here and find the icon. But I actually find it easier to find the library, the project that we're going to be working on, and double click on that because it'll open up our project right away. And it eliminates any problems of having our library show up into Final Cut Pro. Now remember, this is our project folder essentially. This purple icon is a library inside of Final Cut Pro, but I want you all to think of it as our main project folder. Just like how it would show up in Pro Tools, where all of our files are inside of a main project folder, and the same thing with a lot of Adobe projects, the same thing happens with Final Cut Pro now. And as you can see, if I right click on this and show package contents, I can see all of my files inside of there. So I just wanted to show you that this is acting as a project folder. So when I double click on this, it will open up the library inside of Final Cut Pro. Now, some of you might see that there is a miscellaneous library called Untitled. You probably saw that inside of the movies folder that I have. And this is just a miscellaneous library that shows up inside of Final Cut Pro by default. We can right click on this and we could just close this library. I like to work with one project library at a time. So in this case, this is our DMP 205 SCPX training library. This is actually what the project is called, but really the project is farm to table, and we're going to change this up a little bit. So our entire project is this library here, and inside this library within it we can have events. Events are like bins or folders that we can contain files and other items such as clips, audio tracks, and things like that. So what I would like to do is, it's a really good idea to name your main project library the project that you're working on. This way there's no issues or confusion as to which projects you are working on if you're trying to find them. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to rename this event, and I'm going to call this clips and items. Just for now, just so that we have this named here, because I know that there are clips and other items within this. And you can see we have a lot of clips to choose from. So now's a good chance to now rename our library, our project library, farm to table, because this is what the project is called. So if you have clients that send you projects for you to work on, it's really good idea to respect what they call their files, unless things are really out of whack. So now we have this event inside, and this is going to change once you see what I'm about to do. So first, it might be a really good idea to just go through your clips here and just see what is happening here. You might want to play some clips. So we know that's audio, and any clips that show up in green like this with the green waveform, that is a clear indication that that is an audio file. We also have some various video clips. Some are just B-roll, and we have some that are interviews, and we need to organize all of these files. So as we scroll down, we can see that there are quite a bit of B-roll, and we have some interviews that we need to organize as well. So now's a good chance to create our other events or bins. Okay, so we know that we have a project library which houses our entire project, and then we also know that within it we can create events which act as bins and folders. So let's create a new event in File and go to New, and I'm going to just select Event. And now's a good time to name this according to what you would like to put inside of the event. So I'm going to name this Interviews. And you can see that we have a library tab. Of course, I just keep one open at a time so we can put this event inside of our farm to table project. And then we can create this, and now it says Interviews. And we have other footage as well, such as B-roll. So I'm going to create another event. Think of it as a bin or a folder. And I'm going to call this one B-roll. Now just remember, B-roll is the footage that we're going to be putting on top of our interviews. We're going to be putting this on top of the people that are speaking to cover up, a lot of what they're saying with exciting footage, and also some other editing techniques as well. And I'll show you that. So now we have B-roll and interviews, and I'm going to create another event, and I'm going to call this one audio, because we know we have some music and probably some random interview sound bites as well. And I'm going to go into File and New and Event one last time, and I'm going to create an event called Stills and Titles, because I did see some photos and some title shots in there as well. And we'll put this in Farm to Table. Now everything's starting to be organized, except you see that nothing is actually in these events, and that's okay, because we're about to put the clips that are inside here, and we're going to organize this into each corresponding event. Now, the one thing I want to do is I just want to show you this real quick. Do you see most of these clips have blue bars on top, and they almost kind of remind us as our favorites and rejected bars that we went over. We're going to be using the favorites and rejected a lot more in just a bit. But these are actually what's called keyword collections. And we're not going to be going over this just yet, but basically what we can do is we can use keyword collections as another way of organizing our files. For now though, just so that we don't get confused by these blue bars, I would like you to open up your main event and just open this up and delete these keyword collections that are inside of it. And it's not going to delete the file, it's just going to delete these blue bars that are in each clip. And if you are naming this along with me, if it says clips and items, that would be the one. Or if yours still says farm to table, this event, it's going to be inside of farm to table. And just delete these guys. Delete keyword collections when you right click on this. So again, delete our keyword collections. And what's going to happen is now the blue bars are gone on our clips. For this project, will allow us to be able to see our favorites and our rejected lines a lot easier. So with that in mind, now we can go through and we can organize our files and our clips. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to go through all my audio, and we know this is an audio clip because it's green with the waveforms, and I'm just going to hold down Command, and this is going to allow me to make multiple selections. And this is an audio clip also, and you see all of them are selected so far. And let's just scroll through and see if there's any more. So far it doesn't look like it. That's good. And now we can move these audio clips inside of our audio event. Again, think of this as bins and folders. And when I click on audio, now my audio is inside of this audio event. So this is where the organization begins. And I'm just going to close my inspector tab here to give us more space. And now I'm going to go back into clips and items, and let's just find all of our interviews. And also, just a quick note, if any of you still have the multicam event that is under the library, you can also right click on that and close that as well. Or in fact, you might have to right click and move that to the trash. We're not going to be using that for this project. That was just a lesson that we did in class. So now I'm going to grab all of my interviews.
COF.
We can tell that these are interviews. They're also labeled correctly. So whoever sent us this project, which we can call our client, labeled these pretty well, and we can command click on each one of these, and I can bring these into my into my interviews, and now those are gone. Oh, we have one more. Some of these might still be the multicam clips, and I can just delete those when I'm ready. Yeah, you can see some of these are multicam. That's okay. We'll go through and delete those. And let's just scroll down, see if there's any other interviews. There's one here, but this is actually just I believe a color grading experimentation there. We'll try to go through that then. And oh, here we have some interviews. And one more. We have a Justin interview. Great. And I think, oh, we have one more down here. His name's Owen. And that looks good. So now that we command clicked on those, we can drag these into our interviews as well. Now things are really starting to get cleaned up. So now let's just command click, or even better, we can shift click. And if we shift click on the first file or clip and just scroll down and select another clip on the end, it'll actually highlight all of them at once. So it's a good time saver. So I'm going to drag this into our B-roll event because this is B-roll. This is the footage that's going to be going on top of our interviews and music clips. And we have some more B-roll. So I'm going to shift click, put these in interviews, and you're going to see where I'm coming from here. And we have some more B-roll here. Shift click. Oh, sorry. You have to do it carefully. And put this in B-roll. And we have one here. And just go through and command click on your corresponding clips. I'm going to put this in B-roll. So we have quite a bit of B-roll, so there's definitely going to be some great shots that we can pick for our project here. This looks good. This is a still. We don't want that for now. This is a still. So we're going to skip over that and click on these guys. Some great footage here. And yes, it does take some time, but it's worth it when you organize everything in the correct events. Because then when we do go through our files, we can easily find what we're looking for a lot easier. This looks like a still, okay. So we're just going through and picking out our B-roll, and we're just about there. Another good reason to go through all these and put them in their corresponding events is while you're selecting them, you get an idea of what the story is about. So yes, you do want to skim through a lot of these and play everything, but while you're selecting things, you do get an idea, hey, I did see this particular clip before, and this is really great. So I'm going to drag this into my B-roll, and now look how much smaller this is getting now. Our original clips and items event that we renamed. And these are, we're not going to use this for now, so I'm going to move this to the trash. Anything that you want to actually get rid of, you can delete by moving to the trash or holding down Command and the delete key that is in the middle of your keyboard. So I'm going to move this to the trash. That's okay. And now we have some stills and titles. And because this is all we have, I'm just going to drag and select. And I'm going to move these into our stills and titles. And now this original event that was labeled farm to table that we renamed clips and items is now empty. And we can delete this now because we don't need to use this. So we'll right click, move event to trash. And now we have a clean session with all of our audio, all of our B-roll clips, all of our interviews, and all of our titles. And now we're ready to go through our footage and start selecting all the clips that we want for our project.